This is BTV.
Once in a while, somebody actually does build a better mousetrap. This one is being built by Cynapsus Therapeutics. At the moment, they call it drug candidate APL 130-277, a technical description for an amazing development. And it's good news for people suffering from Parkinson's disease. Parkinson's is a chronic and progressive neurodegenerative disease that causes changes in mobility, depression, and even dementia. Today, over 1 million people in North America and 4 to 6 million people worldwide are affected by Parkinson's.
Cynapsus Therapeutics is a clinical and commercial development company focused on Parkinson's with a new delivery method, oral delivery method, of the only approved drug that treats freezing episodes in Parkinson's.
The shape is small enough for it's going to fit underneath the tongue without any issue,
Right.
which I think is paramount for this particular patient population.
To understand the significance of this little blue film strip, it helps to know a little more about Parkinson's disease. We spoke to a Cynapsus scientific advisor, who is one of the world's leading Parkinson's experts.
Parkinson's disease is a condition which is characterized by motor features such as tremor, rigidity, slowness of movement, trouble with walking. Many of these features are very dramatically improved by levodopa, the drug that gets converted to dopamine in the brain to treat the dopaminergic features.
Unfortunately, levodopa can become less effective over time. That's why 25 to 50% of Parkinson's patients experience freezing or off episodes.
Off episodes are an important problem for Parkinson's disease patients. So here you have a patient who starts off taking levodopa and they enjoy benefit. And now what happens is after time, instead of that benefit lasting all day, it gets reduced in duration such that when a patient experiences the benefit wears off and they lose the benefit. That's called an off episodes, when the Parkinsonism returns and they are not adequately controlled with levodopa. So the off episodes are a real problem for Parkinson patients, not only because they are periods in which they don't have good control of motor function, but because of all these other social implications that result from being off.
To deal with the frustrating and challenging complications of off episodes, many Parkinson's patients inject a drug called apomorphine.
Apomorphine is a wonderful molecule to help with off episodes based on its pharmacological characteristics. Right now, as it's available as an injection, when one is given the injection, one gets relief of off symptoms within 10 minutes. We anticipate having the very same effect when we give the drug sublingually under the tongue with a thin strip. One of the problems with the subcutaneous injection is that the drug itself is very acidic. So when we inject it under the skin, we often get a bit of a skin nodule that's quite painful. And patients find themselves injecting themselves around the body. And when you're taking this drug 3 times a day, it becomes rather cumbersome to have a welt on your skin and have to move around to inject it. Since the injection has been used, there have been 10 different companies that have tried to formulate the drug into a form that would allow it to be given orally. Unfortunately, all of them have failed. The reason why we seem to have had success is that we've been able to make a strip that's bilayer. And when I say bilayer, one of the layers has the drug, the other layer has the buffer that stops the drug from being acidic.
So this is a reformulation of apomorphine into a thin bilayer film strip that you would simply place underneath your tongue at the bottom of...
Cynapsus is going to spend the next 18 months completing its clinical trials in order to allow it to submit a new drug application in the first half of 2016, such that the drug could be approved in early 2017. At that time, we will also most likely have completed a partnering transaction which will allow for the commercialization of the product once it's approved. We have approximately $20.6 million as reported in the second quarter of 2014. That is sufficient to allow us to complete all of our clinical work and submit and manage a new drug application at the FDA. I think we have an opportunity here to make a major difference
Reformulating apomorphine so Parkinson's patients can have a convenient and more tolerable alternative to injections is a worthy objective. But what does the company look like to an investment analyst?
My view of the company is that they're a management team that has been successful at moving drugs forward like this in the past within the neurology space. We have a buy recommendation on the stock based upon where the company is currently trading in the public markets, and that's based upon valuation that they currently have, which is roughly around a $50 million market capitalization, and our outlook for potential positive clinical data forthcoming.
Our application of apomorphine is a reliable drug. It's going to work for patients whenever they take it. It's easy to use. Obviously, the strip is much more easy to use than an injection, and it works very quickly. As well, it could have a sustained effect too. So it's a drug that works quickly, sustained, easy to use, and reliable.
I've actually experienced Parkinson's in my family, and I've focused in Parkinson's for the last 20 years almost. And so being able to maybe bring something to the market that will make a difference in the daily quality of living for these people is quite satisfying.
To support their latest clinical studies, Cynapsus has been awarded a second grant from the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's research. That's great news for Cynapsus and for those suffering with Parkinson's. Cynapsus Therapeutics trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol CTH, and on the OTCQX, their symbol is CYNAF.